107.1 KLSX, a classic rock station. What a wonderful song. It's Spanish Caravan. My guest tonight is John Densmore of The Doors. We'll be back to talk more with him, to take phone calls, and to give away copies of his book on audio cassette right after this. Sitting here with John Densmore of The Doors in the studio, and it's a real pleasure for me to talk to him. And I've said this over the air probably many times in the past, but this band is very personal to me, in the fact that one of the main reasons I have a career in radio at all is by following my bliss before I'd ever heard that, due to the Doors, because I heard the first Doors album. In fact, the first song I ever heard wasn't even written by them. It was Backdoor Man, and it so captivated me, the sound of that and the intrigue of that record, and then I put it on from the beginning and then lived with it forever. And that really kind of, in those days, turned me away from the straight life, if you will, into exploring other avenues of the world. It truly, literally opened up doors for me, and so it's I'm glad that John's here.
You're an author, Jim.
Well, yes, thank you, John.
No, and I'm proud to be on this show because both of us didn't use ghostwriters and slogged through it on our own.
Amen, brother. Right. Amen. Yeah, you're exactly right. You could have gotten a ghostwriter. We could have done that. We didn't. Let's take some calls and see what we got here. Hi, you're on the air at KLSX with John Densmore.
John?
Hi.
First of all, I've read like every Doors book I could find, and I got to say that yours is obviously the best.
Oh, thanks.
And I was wondering what you felt about Oliver Stone's movie.
Aha. Well, I felt it was very powerful. I felt Val Kilmer was excellent, and visually the concert stuff was amazing, and the music, Rothschild was there, thank God, and did a great job. It was mainly about Jim and the self-destructive, creative, brooding artist, not unlike Mr. Stone himself. I'm not that person. I hoped it would have a little more about the idealism of the 60s. But I guess I'll just have to write that movie myself.
There you go. Thanks for your call, man. KLSX, you're on the air with John Densmore.
Hi, this is Nova.
Hi, Nova.
Hi, I also agree that your book was the best one since Personal View from one of the Doors. But I wanted to know, I saw Ray Manzarek back a while ago. He was doing a publicity thing. I wanted to know, are you doing any shows or touring or anything like that?
My goodness. Not with Ray. I do hope to play with Ray and Robbie someday in the near future, play some music, not get a singer, just jam or whatever. I've been doing a lecture tour of colleges where authors read their work, and I've turned it into a performance art hour where I play drums while I read and show videos and turn the lights out, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Sounds interesting. Listen, Nova, have you read John's book?
Yeah, I called back a while for the Lost Classic, Spanish Caravan.
Oh, well, you just heard it, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right.
I also wanted to know one more thing. What was the song that took the longest to record, and what was your favorite song?
Well, two-part question, my favorite song. I love Strange Days album. I love L.A. Woman. The longest song, well, The Soft Parade. We were trying to make Sgt. Pepper or something and had horns and strings, which we were into. It took forever and cost too much.
You know, I've always considered it really ironic that of all the Doors albums, that was the album playing the first time I took acid, which is the most un-acid-like album for me anyway. You'd think it'd be Strange Days or something. And I'd like to get it on the record that I was dosed. And thank you for doing it. 97.1 KLSX, you're on the air with John Densmore.
Oh, yes. How you doing, John? How you doing, Jim?
Good, thanks.
Listen, I just wanted to ask you, also, a two-part question. One is, I saw Ray Manzarek with Michael McClure last year. I believe it was the same night that you played with Robbie Krieger over at the Palomino, and he was very outspoken against the movie. You know, can you tell me anything about that as far as, like, I know that you appeared in the movie and some other people that, you know.
Well, yeah, it's complicated. Ray went to film school and has very strong opinions about movies and stuff. The first draft Oliver wrote was so dark that Ray kind of blew up at him, and so that was the end of that relationship. And Robbie and I, since the movie had gotten to the stage where it couldn't be stopped, decided to give Oliver all the information we could and he took what he wanted and left the rest, it being a director's medium, and tried to help it be the best movie possible. I'm happy that I have 300 pages of totally my POV out there. So there you have it.
Have you had a chance to read John's book?
Yes, I did. I've read, also like some of the other callers, I've read most of the Doors books out, and I really did enjoy John's book.
John, I may not be able to give a copy of your book away because everybody's read it. I was trying to find somebody who hasn't read it yet. Listen, thank you very much for the call.
Oh, if you're giving away on audio cassette, I'd love to have a copy.
Would you really?
Is it John's voice?
It's John's voice. He's reading this thing himself.
I would love to have a copy.
It's a different experience. All right, you hold on, and we're going to get you a copy. Chris, it's line 3. Just hold on, and we'll get that for you.
Thanks very much.
Okay, man. This is 97.1 KLSX, the classic rock station. We're talking with John Densmore. You talk a lot about acid in this book. Let's talk about
do?
LSD. Yes, John, you do, and I've already dropped my pants here about it. So, and you talk a lot about it in the book. And what I'm interested in hearing about is
it was legal when I took it.
Okay, John, fine. This is not an endorsement nor a commercial for LSD, but what I'm interested in is A, what effect it had on you, positive or negative, and B, how LSD may be misperceived in the 90s.
Well, I don't know if the LSD of the night, I'm sure it isn't the same as the LSD of the 60s.
Let me rephrase that. The experience of taking acid.
Yeah. For me, I hadn't smoked grass even, and I went out in nature, and I had this sort of mystical experience, and I found out there was other ways of seeing the world. I also realized, like the Indians who treat peyote very carefully and sacredly, that it's dangerous. There's knowledge, but, be very careful. Now, in the 90s, I have found out that there are some folks who cannot dabble in, even a beer. So I always like to say, find out who you are and then proceed.
And also, at that time, this was treated as a sacrament, not as something to get screwed up on and go party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about a search for knowledge here.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to 97.1 KLSX. My guest tonight, John Densmore.